for the singing of our national anthem by the lovely Christina Cart. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Remain standing. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Momit Singh to deliver our invocation.
So good morning, everyone. I didn't really expect a response, but I want to start this off with a confession of mine. I've spent 4 years of my life at GW, earned a bachelor's degree, and had my fair share of fun. But until I was asked to give this speech, I had no idea what an invocation actually was. To be fair, neither did any of my friends. And when I told them I got nominated, they all gave me that, I don't know what it means, but congrats, enthusiasm. My ever-supportive friends aside, I'm honored to be speaking in front of you all today. Before coming to GW, I've been the only turban-sick man at my school since I started preschool. That means even before I realized what faith truly meant, I had always been different than the person to my right and to my left. Even with this difference, deterring from the path that I was on was never an option. Pushing my way to GW allowed me to see that there's a community of people that support each other regardless of those differences. And these are the two things I wish to highlight in my time with you all. First is community. A community is a group of people who live in the same place or share a common characteristic. I would like each of us who are here today to reflect on what that characteristic is. Regardless of the differences, despite the hate in the world, and irrespective of the bigotry that has creeped into the fabric of our country, GW has shown that we choose to stand with each other. We choose to stand with our faith-based communities and our cultural organizations. We choose to stand for love rather than hate. That is a community. The second thing is resilience. In the face of obstacles is when a man or woman shows their realest self. The situation becomes a mirror to give the world a glimpse of their personality. Let us all show that even when we fall 9 times, that we will stand up a 10th. We will give a voice to those that do not have one and stand by their sides through the burning fires that life sends their way. GW class of 2019, continue to stand for the world around you, because when you do, you not only uplift people and communities, but you also uplift yourselves. Thank you.
You may now be seated. Sound effects. Good morning, my beautiful people. I'm Crystal Warner, the Senior Program Coordinator at the Multicultural Student Services Center, and I would like to welcome family, friends, faculty, staff to our 11th annual MSSC graduation celebration. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2019. You made it! Dear friends and family, before I welcome our next speaker, I just want you to know that if any of your students ever neglected to respond to a text message, an email, a phone call, a Snapchat maybe, it wasn't because they were partying. No, 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 sir. They do not do that at the George Washington University. It was because your students were working tirelessly to make sure the multicultural and diverse community here at GW had a strong and everlasting presence at GW. And for that, we at the MSSC are truly, truly thankful for your contributions to making sure GW continues to be diverse and to be an inclusive campus. So thank you. And let me be the first to say that while we hate to see you go, we love to watch you leave. Because you're gonna go on to do bigger and better things? Duh. Before I announce our next speaker, I want to leave you with a few words from the incredible and ever so talented author, Dr. Seuss. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy or girl or person who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, and when things start happening, don't worry, don't stew. Just go on along, you'll start happening too. You're on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar high to high heights. On and on you'll hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. Will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. A 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Congratulations again. Now I would like for you all to join me in welcoming the ever so graceful Helen Candace-Soni, the Associate Provost for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Community Engagement.
Thank you, Crystal, and good morning. I am delighted on behalf of Vice Provost Carolyn LeGuerre Brown in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Community Engagement to stand here with my colleagues, members of our esteemed faculty, and student body to extend a hearty welcome to the parents, grandparents, caregivers, family, and friends gathered today to celebrate you, the exceptional, the illustrious, and the most beautiful class of 2019. So we will be clapping for you a lot today. This ceremony is really near and dear to my heart and one of a pair of bookends that mark my time and excitement with the Multicultural Student Services Center in the George Washington University. It may also mark yours as well. The first is the MSSC Block Party that takes place every fall during Welcome Week, where among other activities, we wobble, and we welcome new and returning students, faculty, staff, and alumni to the start of the academic year, and for you graduates to the start of what is likely your final year enrolled as a student here at GW. It's a great time full of energy, smiles, and warmth. It's wonderful. The other bookend is this one, the MSSC graduation ceremony, where we have the privilege to celebrate your graduation and to welcome you as you join the ranks of the more than 225,000 distinguished GW alumni worldwide. For most of you, this ceremony is the official start of your commencement weekend. I trust that the excitement you are feeling now will only increase as the weekend continues. But please, 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 take care of yourself and make sure your parents see you, and make sure you are safe and sound to your school, you arrive safe and sound to your school ceremony and Sunday's commencement on the mall. I want to also take this time to applaud and thank Mr. Michael Tapscott, Mr. George Rice, Mr. Timothy Kane, Ms. Crystal Warner, Ms. Erin Chapman, and all of the MSSC student staff for not only the work they put into putting this program together, but what they do all year to support students and to provide an inclusive and welcoming environment and community for all. So thank you. Graduates, there is no doubt that today and the coming days will be filled with excitement and perhaps a bit of anxiousness. You've worked hard, have built a strong foundation. You have experienced the highs and lows of college life and graduate studies. You have challenged to think differently and learn new concepts by some of the most renowned faculty. You have studied, you've researched, you've written and rewritten papers and senior projects. You have developed and learned from friendships or from controversy with people from different backgrounds and cultures. And you have gained tremendous experience from your participation in student orgs, volunteer activities, civic engagement, and/or work activities. Now, you are about to enter the most uncertain and thrilling period of your life. Trust the education you received here and your foundation. It's strong, and it will support whatever comes your way. I remember being right here, well, not here, but right where you are, and you may find this hard to believe, but exactly 37 years ago. Yeah, I can't believe it either, yeah, but anyway. Days before my graduation, I wasn't sure how one course was going to shake out, and I was lamenting the fact that my future plans were not solidified and that my life's path was not neatly laid out in front of me. I hadn't heard back from the hiring manager of a job I really wanted, and even though I felt confident that I had knocked the interview out of the park, I guess they did not. But I also had this one uncle who was notorious for cornering family members at events and asking, "So what you gonna do next year? You got a job yet?" And I graduated with a degree in sociology and concentrations in psychology and education. So I kind of was an easy target in some ways. He'd often laugh and in fun saying, "What you gonna do with that major?" So I'm gonna just tell you a quick story. So my second job was in admissions here at the George Washington University, and his son decided to apply to GW. I said, "Guess what, Uncle? I have something I can do with my degree." So anyway, that's neither here or there, but that was kind of a fun little back and forth. I loved my parents, my family unit, and my family house, my neighborhood, and the excitement of regrouping with my friends as young adults with little responsibility. But I wasn't so thrilled about the idea of that I might be back at home and without a job. And while my parents were cool with it, and with the idea and reassured me that I was welcome back with open arms, I know they were a little nervous, that their college graduate daughter would return home living under their roof and jobless. So for several years, that was my kind of lasting memory about my college career. I couldn't believe it. I said, I knew I had so many other good experiences. So I was so focused on not having a job at that moment that I couldn't reflect on all that I had endured, enjoyed, and accomplished during my undergraduate career. But to my jubilation, and not long after, about a month or so, the course was a non-issue. Well, actually before that, but the course was a non-issue, and a month later I started a job in the field that has become my career. On balance, I love my work, and I've been very happy more than not most of my life. I share this with you to ask you to take some time to focus on the things you are grateful for each day and applaud yourself for all that you have accomplished, all that you have learned, all the only at GW moments you've experienced, all the friends you have made, all the stops of Rolling Cow Food Truck, at Rolling Cow Food Truck. Is that a popular, I go there. No, okay. And even all the jokes that I hear you share about GW, like the real estate company, really? Is that right? How the geolocation can't get you to the beautiful and accessible Mount Vernon campus? Making sure you allocate 30 minutes if you're going to Gelbucks, is that right? Do you have to, in the morning, 30 minutes? Okay. And the way you can tell how much money people have on their G World by the line at Chick-fil-A? No? I don't know. And the 18th Hill internship students have by their sophomore year? There's a lot of internships. But I say this to savor these memories. Enjoy the journey. Trust your foundation. Savor these memories. Enjoy the journey and trust your foundation. Also, take some time to focus on the things you are grateful for each day. It doesn't have to be about the big things. It can be about the small things, such as enjoying a movie or just taking a walk with a friend for the first time after not seeing them for a while. Brenda Nathan, a freelance writer and student of personal development, authored a book, The 1 Minute Gratitude Journal. Has anybody heard of that? The 1 Minute Gratitude Journal. In it, she shares, gratitude is a feeling of appreciation for what one has. Cultivating an attitude of gratitude yields many benefits, physical, mental, and spiritual. Feeling gratitude in the present moment makes you happier, more relaxed, and improves your overall health and well-being. I encourage you to take time to write down 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you are grateful for each day. Brenda Nathan submits, and I have found it to be true, that by doing so, you will store positive energy, gain clarity in your life, and have greater control over your thoughts and emotions. Now, parents, grandparents, caregivers, aunts, uncles, and loved ones, we salute you in your role of your students' success here at GW and their achievement. We thank you for sharing your student with us, trusting us with their education, and the role you played in their journey. No one ever gets here alone, and behind every successful graduate, there's a network of folks that help to make this day possible. You are to be honored and thanked for the time, hard work, love, and encouragement you gave your student. So today, mamas, papas, grandfathers, grandmothers, caregivers, aunts, uncles, we thank you and we celebrate you as well. Almost finished. And finally, to the graduates, as you begin this next chapter of your life, it's important to remember about the inequalities and injustices that continue to persist today. Although this year marks the 55th year of the signing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and seemingly a cause for celebration, we live in a time where the norms and standards of decency and behaviors are being violated and challenged daily. We must have hope that things can change, that society can change, and people can change. But graduates, we need you. As you have heard from many of our leaders, to make changes, to make progress, real progress for a more just, more free society for all, we've got to be kind to each other. We've got to work with each other. We have to stand side by side with all of our neighbors, gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, Muslims, Jews, Christians, Hindu, immigrants, Black, white, Latinx, Native American, the rural poor, and the wealthy. That's where the real progress and change will occur. The work of change is constant. The road may be long and it's not always going to be easy, but you have an opportunity to make a difference in this world. Please seize it. It's your turn to protest and protect. It's your turn to stand up and speak. It's your turn to lead. You are prepared. You are ready. Go forth and do great things. Congratulations. Thank you, parents, family members, friends, and wishing all of you continued and much success.
Thank you, Helen. Next, please join me in welcoming the man we all love, Mr. Michael Raymond Tapscott, the director of the Multicultural Student Services Center, who will provide us with today's occasion.
I have a little story to tell you today. 76 years ago, a man named Abram Lisner left $750,000 to GW to build the most significant cultural facility, not only in the District of Columbia, but the largest theater venue south of New York City, this Lisner Auditorium. Sadly, there were some challenging university policies in place that would dull the luster on that project. Historian Paul Cook wrote, "Adhering to the most rigid racial policy practice of all District of Columbia colleges, GW's president even extended racial exclusion to the institution's new Lisner Auditorium." And most of you know actress Ingrid Bergman protested vigorously when she discovered that 2 African-American patrons were prevented from attending a performance here. She was here to perform Joan of Arc, and she scolded the playwright, "Shame on you, coming with this play to Washington knowing that this could happen. I will not come back here again until black people, just like everyone else, can come to this theater." The ghost of Bergman's protest drew a lot of interest in the city. The ghost is still here. The Washington Post editorial board wrote of this policy, "One would suppose it, as a seat of scholarship, to be above prejudice. One would suppose it, as a place of learning, religious in origin, and consecrated to Christian ideals, to be above the meanness that would deny people opportunities for entertainment on account of the color of their skins." We've come a long way since then, but there's a lot of good community building work to do to address the vestiges of discrimination in our history. We will need your help down the road to help us accomplish our goals. The MSSC graduation celebration is a student-centered event that celebrates a life-changing milestone for each of you and your families. And it does so in a manner that honors the current values of this institution and the values of each individual, unique, and deeply contextual communities represented in the audience today. This is a celebration of scholars who have conquered the academic, social, and cultural challenges of college life during their years here. Today, your legacy is established, your story will be told, you will begin your life as functioning adults, and some of your recent dreams are now realities. We hope that your gratitude and appreciation for this experience will be shared with the world that you choose to live in, and with the GW and MSSC home community that you leave behind. On behalf of the President, Tom LeBlanc, Provost Forrest Maltzman, Vice Provost Carolyn LeGueur-Brown, the University Board of Trustees, our esteemed faculty, and the entire George Washington University administration, welcome to the 11th annual MSSC graduation celebration. You've been welcomed already. Let me move on. I'm excited about seeing you all here because you reflect the full breadth and range of the diversity of our student body. I'm happy to see you here in Lisner Auditorium because your presence in this place, on this campus, reflect the outcomes and the progress of the university's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I want you to take a moment and look around the room at this collection of race and ethnicity and gender identity and reflect for a moment how each and every one of you have contributed to an amazing lifelong learning experience that we hope you will take with you into the world. Take a minute, look around this place, and look at the diversity we reflect right now. I don't know why Flavor Flav came to mind. I was thinking, yeah, boy. But that is a vestige of my own college history, and so let us not go back there. I don't know where that came. You know, they performed it. Anyway, we've come a long way together, from orientation to classes to block party, campus events, sports programs, Heritage Month, chilling in the city, trying to find that free meal, to impassioned conversations about race and difference and right and wrong in that grand old building on G Street, to today's graduation celebration. Your GW experience should have been one of the greatest developmental stages of your life. You should have learned more, grown more, and changed more than any time period in your life. These friends around the room who shared your journey will be your friends for life. Please take a minute. Look at all these beautiful and handsome faces. Remember them, cherish them, and stay connected to them. And now everyone, you can participate in this. We're going to engage in a little Quaker tradition. You know I love my Quakers. Where are my Quakers at in this room here? Quaker High School people, where are we at? Where? What? All right. Better thee than me. In this Quaker tradition, I'd like you all to stand up. Everybody, please, if you can. I would like you to reach out and identify someone you do not know. I would like for you to reach out and do the following three things when I give you the signal. 1, shake their hand and hold it. 2, share your first names. 3, tell them I will remember you. 4, tell them you're amazing. Go!
I know you. I see you got my note card right there.
Okay. Yes, sir. You're amazing. Take your seats. Quaker meeting starts with a simple handshake and eye contact that affirms the light of good inside. This is also a reminder of our shared humanity. And also remember that in many cultures, hand-holding is an expectation. And as uncomfortable as it can be, it's a reminder that we're all very much alike. During the past 4 years, you've met and engaged with people from every walk of life, probably more than any college student in the United States. You've experienced the full breadth and challenges of our nation's diversity here. The cultural intelligence you've developed through your experiences has prepared you for success and leadership in a world outside of this bubble with vastly different values, ideologies, and perspectives. But guess what? You already have what it takes for that success. So when we reach the right time in the program, you will receive your graduation stole or cord. The words you will hear from us will be, "Congratulations, I wish you the very best for a bright future." The message, however, is, this gift is a reflection of your excellence, an historic symbol of your memories during this time in your life, and our appreciation for you as a human being and as a lifelong member of the GW and MSSC family. Come back every once in a while. We have a lot of good work left to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have the community keynotes. This year, several students were nominated to provide a few words of reflection and inspiration for you all. So first, we will start off with the community keynote for the Asian Pacific Islander community. Please join me in welcoming the lovely Renee Beneda.
Mabuhay magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Hello and good morning. In December 2018, one of the best films I've ever seen was released in theaters, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's an amazing movie for a variety of reasons. The animation is unprecedented and bold, and the soundtrack is modern and elevates each cinematic moment. But at the end of the movie, the story is well done and well told. The movie follows Brooklyn native Miles Morales and his journey into becoming Spider-Man. For folks that don't follow Spider-Man or who just aren't into superhero movies, I've heard that sometimes it can be difficult to take these kinds of movies seriously. And I get that. I mean, it's a little goofy to see a middle schooler get bitten by a radioactive spider and acquire abilities that include spidey sense and the ability to climb walls. On face value, that is not a story that any of us can relate to. But the story isn't just about the wicked powers that Miles must master before he can don the iconic suit and mask. It's about the decisions he must make when opportunity is thrust upon him. Minor spoiler warning, Miles has to take a leap of faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. And as cliche as that may sound, it is important for us to keep that in mind as we move forward, whether our new direction is graduate school, work, or everything in between. After spending some time at GW, I find that our competitive environment often encourages us to know exactly what we want to do with our life right now, after college, and then work hard until we can't work anymore. And while there's nothing wrong with that lifestyle, and I commend the folks among us who have it figured out, it cannot be said enough that we must have faith in ourselves and our decisions, even if, and especially if, we don't feel like we're ready for what comes next. After almost 2 decades of schooling, it is intimidating to know that the future is undefined and blurry. But we must keep faith that we will be okay. The way we get to our goal will not always be in line with the plans that we have set out for ourselves. And while it may be hard to accept it at times, the goal we have in our mind is bound to change once, twice, or even 3 times, and that is also okay. As a daughter of 2 hardworking Filipino immigrants, the pressure to be everything your family wants you to be is a burden that is hard to shoulder. And sometimes it can feel as if you're being selfish for going after your own goals instead of the goals that have been assigned to you. And I don't think there are any words, at least any words that I can come up with, that can permanently quell those feelings. I think the decisions that many superheroes make in movies and the ones that are talked about after folks leave the theaters are the ones that are most human. Whether it is standing up for yourself, fighting for your community, or undoing snap decisions, the most heroic moments and lives we can live start with a leap of faith. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Next, we'll have Miss Imani Ross, who will deliver a speech for the Black community.
Good morning. When I was younger, every day before school, my mother made me memorize a Bible verse. Lean not into your own understandings, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your path. If you told me 4 years ago that I'd be standing up here speaking to my class, I would have never believed it. But that's what I learned from GW. The path you go on to take is not the path you always see for yourself. Many of us dreamed of what we wanted to do freshman year. We dreamt of becoming leaders, becoming doctors, and lawyers. And if you're like me and failed Foster's econ class, you quickly realize not every dream is your reality. But still, in 2015, we packed ourselves into Thurston elevators and nervously attempted the Cupid Shuffle at the MSSC block party. We lived out the dreams of so many before us. And today, as we sit here ready to move on to the next chapters of our lives, we live the dreams of so many more. These past 4 years, we accomplished so much. We survived the racial challenges of navigating this school, and we did it with grace. See, on average, white and Asian students earn a college-level credential at a rate 20% higher than black students. Black men are more likely to transfer, drop out, and have the lowest completion rates. Black women account for more than 60% of all four-year degrees in the black community. I say this to say that if you're in this room right now, you not only embody black excellence at GW, but you embody black excellence across the country. We're no longer dreams, but realities. No longer aspirations, but the guide. We're no longer the end, but the path. So I say enjoy it, appreciate it, celebrate it. Remind yourself every day about what you did. And after you're done patting yourself on the back for surviving all-nighters in Gale Hell, give thanks. Say thank you to the ones that helped shape your path, to the people that uplifted you at your lowest, to the custodial workers and four-ride drivers that looked out for you, to Chick-fil-A, to J Street before it got shut down, to Michael Tabscott, George Rice, Crystal Warner, Aaron Flanagan, Carolyn Laguerre-Brown, to CSC, and to your e-board members of every black student org, and to the members that showed up. We don't know where we'll be in the next 10 years. For some of us, we don't even know where we'll be tomorrow. But if you always acknowledge the ones around you, you'll know that next step. Congratulations, class of 2019. We did it!
Thank you, Imani. Next, please join me in welcoming the lovely Victoria Lewis, who will be speaking on behalf of the interfaith community.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Victoria Lewis, and I use she, her pronouns. It is an honor and a pleasure to be speaking with you this morning. For those of you who know me, you know that there are a few things that I talk about all the time. My plant collection, how much I love plantains, and the importance of religious diversity, specifically within higher education. I've been a member of the GW Interfaith Council since my freshman year and just finished my second year as president, but many of you would be surprised to learn that it was actually a stroke of serendipity that I got involved in the student group in the first place. January of my freshman year, I went to the MSSC to take advantage of the discounted printing, and the event whiteboard caught my eye. Religious diversity on campus and why it's important, hosted by the GW Interfaith Council, I read. It was only an hour-long event, but that random Wednesday changed my life. Not only did the Interfaith Council give me a community, but they helped me discover my passion. They turned a hobby and an academic interest into hopefully a future career. GW has so many incredible religious and spiritual communities that I have been privileged to work with these past years. They are passionate and they are dedicated to everything that they do. This year alone, our communities have donated thousands to various charities, fed the GW community abundantly, celebrated religious holidays, pushed conversations on intersectionality forward, mourned those impacted by national and international hate crimes, opened an interfaith prayer and meditation space, shout out to the MSSC staff, and hosted GW's first ever Interfaith Week. I've learned more about myself and my own faith by talking with others than I ever have inside of a church. And I'm honored and privileged to be graduating from a university that encourages values of acceptance, curiosity, student leadership, and pluralism of thought. And if and when we don't see those values encouraged by administration, we as students exemplify them. Interfaith work is not all kumbaya, and it's certainly not about proving you're right. Interfaith dialogue means to hold on to one's own beliefs while simultaneously trying to understand another's. It demands honesty, respect, and sincerity. Uniformity and agreement are not the goals. Rather, collaboration and working for the greater good of humanity are. Or I'll be honest with you, it's hard and it's uncomfortable. But so are conversations on racial oppression, on privilege, on sexuality and gender expression. Important work is hard. Religious pluralism calls for active engagement with the other, not merely to tolerate, but to understand. And in a world in which religious differences have been exaggerated and manipulated to burn bridges between communities, it is vital that we understand and respect our neighbors. Plus, we have a whole lot more in common than we do in difference. As Ibu Patel, the president of the Interfaith Youth Corps, beautifully articulates, bridges of understanding don't just fall out of the sky. They don't just spring from the earth. People build them. Let's be builders. Whether you're staying in DC or you're traveling the globe, whether you're a lobbyist on K Street or a barista on H Street, wherever you go and whoever you become, be a builder. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our speaker for the Latinx community. Please join me in welcoming Carolina Fuentes.
I'm short, so I'm going to lower this. Buenos días a todos. My name is Carolina Fuentes. Carolina's just one. Sorry. I am from New York and from El Salvador. On Monday, I walked into the MSSC and saw Mr. Tapscott at the front desk. I said to him, I don't know what to do with my time this week. I don't have work, and I have no school, so yeah. He told me, well, now it's time to reflect. Take time for that. So I'll just do that. In 2005, I overstayed my visa and became undocumented. My whole family lived in one-room basement. In 2005, I didn't know what a hamburger was. In 2006, I refused to eat one. In 2007, straight blonde hair equaled beauty, and I had no blonde hair, and there was no way my mommy would ever let me dye it. In 2008, I was bullied because of my accent. I was told by people that I was trying to be too American while I was being questioned while I was forgetting my roots. As an 11 and 12-year-old, I became confused with my identity, ni de aquí, ni de allá. In 2009, I was no longer in English as a second language classes because I had passed the New York State exam. That same year, Habitat for Humanity had built a home for my family and me. In 2010, I became a citizen. I was placed in honor classes. In 2011, I was placed in my first AP class. In 2012, 2013, I was crying because of my AP classes, while also working part-time. In 2014, I applied to college. I applied to the Elliott School of International Affairs. I had no idea what the Elliott School of International Affairs was. I had no clue what FAFSA was. I had no clue what a loan was. I'm a first-generation student. In 2015, my best friend Sebastian and I graduated and were accepted to the George Washington University. We both came to GW. That first week, as proud GW students, we set off the fire alarm at West Hall trying to make popcorn. My journey as an immigrant might not shock many of you because either you or your family members have gone through the similar struggles. However, one thing is undeniable. It is here at GW where we have changed. We have learned how to budget, use Forward to get us close to Bravo Bravo. You know who you are. And use WEPA not only to talk about printing, but to celebrate one another. It is here where we have learned how loud is too loud to play Calle 13, where we have learned that Hades is not another restaurant, but rather a place that serves as Ybor transition nights. It is here where we have learned how to speak up and advocate for our community. As a first year, we saw what it was like being away from home and the responsibilities that came taking care of ourselves, avoiding decisions that can negatively affect us in the long run, like buying South Block because Nicky Jam has the same healthy goodness. As sophomore year came, we realized that no matter what administration we are under, we will always carry our flags in the backs to the White House. As junior year arrived, many of us went abroad, explored new places, came back with weird accents, and realized that nothing in the world will compare to Latino nights at Crepe Away or karaoke nights in casa. As we leave off our senior year, surviving endless amounts of exams and papers, please continue to repeat and scream, "Sí se pudo." We did it because we helped one another. We did it because we were mentored by minority students that came before us. We did it because we knew that graduating took a village. It took a village of mentors, older classmates, family, and friends. My village was my mommy, papi, Odalis, Manuel, Tio's grandparents, and friends who say yes to pizza. Mi gente, after 4 years of living bajo las mismas estrellas, we can finally say that la vida es un carnaval. Nuestra herencia is what kept our community close and united. From all the achievements we have accomplished at GW, I am proud to say that El Poder Latino was strong because of our presence and continuous work. Every culture show, GBM, and party, study hours, was una vaina loca. For the future, I hope that each and one of you has mentors and friendships that will continue to iluminar el camino. For those of you who did not notice, I just gathered all the themes for Noche en Fiestaza and since our freshman year and turned them into sentences, just like Romeo Santos did with his song titles. Anyways, muchísimas gracias and congratulations, Latinx class of 2019.
Carolina, I just said y'all don't party here. It was study night. Right. Next, please join me in welcoming the speaker for the LGBTQIA community, the lovely Rose Collins.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with all of you this morning. My name is Rose Collins. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And as Mr. T would say, I've got a story to tell, so I'm just gonna start. I came out to my immediate family when I was dating my first gender non-conforming partner at the age of 16. I approached my father, told him I was queer, and explained that gender is not something that matters to me when it comes to who I'm attracted to. I left it at that and kept my identity a very small facet of my existence until I came to the mecca of brutalist architecture, which is GW. I suddenly was in an environment where it felt like every other person was queer and was way more out of the closet than I was. I met Timothy Kane at a diversity training, practically begged him for a job at the Resource Center, met Mr. Tapscott and Aaron and Crystal and George, and everyone else a few weeks later, and I just immediately found a family. The MSSC became my home, but I found it much harder walking into the doors that the LGBTQIA+ community opened for me. I felt neither straight enough nor queer enough to be a member of many of the organizations on campus. Therefore, I spent the majority of my time working in the LGBTQIA+ Resource Center. I spent my time in the queer community by meeting with top administrators, sitting at the computer sending out our listserv, The Gay Agenda, and at org meetings representing the MSSC. My home there was expanded on as I met more and more people who my work ended up impacting. After spending 3 years on LGBT life behind the scenes at the Resource Center, I've become more confident in my identity. I know that my experience is not the experience of the whole queer community, but I have been able to work with one of my good friends who is also graduating today, Ren, to bring change to the experience of queer people at GW. We have worked to bring more people into our office, to expand our programming, and to educate the community about the different facets within it. I think I speak for both of us when I say I am very excited to see the next group of young leaders in our community usher change through the university. We as a community must come together to confront the racism, classism, sexism, and ableism that permeates our homes. We also need to be aware of the walls that we build up ourselves, dividing ourselves from each other. We must stand up for our trans and gender non-conforming siblings at a time when their identities are put in harm's way. I look forward to seeing how the MSSC and student leaders can do this together as the future continues. It was only after finding my own community at the MSSC that I was able to feel more confident in my own identity. Yes, I am very feminine, as you can tell. Yes, I am dating a cisgender man. But yes, I am a very proud member of the LGBTQIA+ community. So many of us are ready to accept the narrative that others write for us, to design ourselves into what we are expected to be. We let others' perceptions of what someone of our identity is supposed to look like permeate into our own self-image. As we graduate and go off into the world, this tendency to be molded by others will come up time and time again. It is our responsibility to ourselves and to our community to be the most genuine versions of ourselves that we can be. You are the sole architect of your life. Build something that you'll be proud of, regardless of what others think. Congratulations, LGBTQIA+ class of 2019. I'm proud of you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Next, but certainly not least, please join me in welcoming our community keynote for the South Asian community, Crystal Sylvester.
Good morning, everyone. As the other Crystal said, I am Crystal Sylvester, and I am very happy to be here addressing the community that I love more than anything. The question of where are you from has never been an easy answer for me. I was born in Mumbai, but spent most of my childhood in South Carolina, in a town whose false claim to fame is being the birthplace of sweet tea. That's how Southern it is. I was a quiet kid, shocking to those of you who know me now, I know, and spent a lot of time reading and eventually writing stories. My characters ate peaches and rode horses, standard Carolina girl things. But when I reached middle school, I realized I was different. I was constantly asked where I was from, why my English was so good, if my marriage was arranged. The people I grew up with were not malicious for the most part. They only knew one story of India. I then went to high school in India for 2 years, where I met people who hadn't heard of South Carolina at all. I learned to say it was 2 states above Disney World. I was asked why I said y'all if I had lived on a ranch or something. They had one story of the American South. When I was 7 years old, I told a girl at a day camp that I was Indian, and she told me that because I worship weird gods and put feathers in my hair, we could no longer be friends. And I let this happen because I did not know the word racist, but I did have a sinking feeling in my stomach that would never quite settle. My junior year, as my friends and I tabled in Kogan Plaza for Bhangra Blowout, a stranger approached us, screamed insults I won't repeat here, and told us to stay out of her way. Never mind that she had come up to us on our campus, but this time, I had the words to process what had made me feel so small. And I had seen students fight to make their stories heard. My freshman year, I saw dozens of South Asian students and allies show up to secure funding for Hassan Minhaj, denied on a racist basis. My sophomore year, I saw Black students from GW show up for their counterparts at American. And from your example, I learned the difference between being an ally and talking over the person you're supposed to be supporting. I practiced that a year later when organizing by the Black community led to the most robust plan for diversity and inclusion this university has ever had. This year, we watched the world grow and change as our campus had. Our homeland of Sri Lanka came under vicious attack. Our Muslim family in Christchurch, New Zealand suffered an unimaginable and targeted tragedy. Our Rohingya counterparts fled persecution to our homeland of Bangladesh. Our homelands of India and Pakistan weathered their worst flare-up of tensions in years. And for us diaspora kids, it's hard to find our places in the conversations surrounding our homelands. We are not physically there, but our roots and our hearts are, and we have to live in a state of representing those lands to people who are not from there. We can speak one language at home and another outside, Ghar ki baat and bar ki baat, but that makes it hard to find your own values. You're constantly trying to reconcile between 2 completely different approaches to fundamental questions about life. India and the US may have both defeated the British, but the pursuit of happiness means very different things. But here, the Multicultural Student Services Center gives us the space to have a diasporic identity. There isn't one story of GW, but I am here to tell you mine. And mine is that this is the first place where I felt allowed to not have a simple answer to where are you from. And I learned in what tiny ways culture can be intersectional. Here, my playlist can shift from Kumar Sanu to Casey Musgraves to Khalid without skipping a beat, and my homemade mac and cheese can feature cumin and chili peppers. I figured out, for now, what values from my two cultures best fit my approach to life's questions, and I no longer feel in a tug of war. I am happy that my story isn't an easy one, because the best ones never are. So thank you. Thank you to the organizations at the South Asian Heritage Celebration, Pakistani Students Association, the Indian Students Association, Iota Nu Delta Incorporated, the Hindu Student Association, the Sikh Students Association, and others for teaching me what intersectionality and community actually look like in the flesh. Thank you, SIS, for being my family and my home. I know it took me 3 years to get to you, but I'm so happy you welcomed me when you did. And thank you, the South Asian class of 2019, for making me a more empathetic person. And if I can ask you for anything, it's to continue to use your stories to empower and to humanize. We have all seen how language, especially from powerful people, can dispossess entire groups. But you all made me want to be better. And I know that you will all have that same impact on anyone lucky enough to come into your lives. Congratulations, South Asian class of 2019. I'm so proud of you.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I was sitting here trying to hold back tears from all of you all's speech. So please give all of our community speakers another round of applause. There's a reason why you were nominated. Next, we have our community awards. Mr. Tapscott. Y'all are sitting at the edge of your seats like, who's winning? First, we have our Outstanding Asian Pacific Islanders Student Award. I will read to you what is on this award, but each award basically says the same thing, so I will just tell you, following this award, who's winning for each community. Thank you. So for the Outstanding Asian Pacific Islander Award, this award is presented to a student in recognition of their valuable contributions to the advancement of the Asian Pacific Islander community at the George Washington University. And this year's winner is Chloe Chang. Does anyone have Kleenex? Next, our award for the Latinx community. Our winner for this year is Carolina Fuentes. Y'all are so emotional this year. This year's winner for the LGBTQIA community is Ren O'Kelly. Keep on clapping. Our winner for the Black community is Mr. Xavier Ritchie. For the South Asian community, Manahil Hassan. Manahil had to attend the Senior Design Showcase at SEAS. We'll accept this on her behalf. And last but certainly not least, for the interfaith community, Momit Singh.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Hey, that's pretty. Hey. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Chris Houghton, who will give you a few remarks on behalf of the Alumni Association. Chris is the Associate Director of Alumni Engagement and Outreach at GW.
Good morning, brothers, sisters, and gender non-binary siblings. How are y'all doing today? Good, good. I'm glad to be here. I'm just going to give a few remarks. I know that you are looking forward to the reception where there's food, so I do not want to stop you. But I do want to thank you and welcome you to the George Washington Alumni Association. Yes, 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 yes. You are alumni. Congratulations. And I want to let you know that you are special and that you are valued and that you have just as much of a right to be a part of the Alumni Association as everyone else. And it's important that you know that because we need your voices and we need your perspectives. As many of you know, as people of color, as differently abled people, as members of the LGBTQ community, we're often not born with networks. And right now you're going off to get your career started. And I want you to think of the GW Alumni Association as a resource in your development, both personally and professionally. So I know you probably think that I'm from the alumni office and that I'm asking for money. I am not. What I am asking you for is three simple things: to give, to go, and to lead. We have 1 million events that we host all across the country and internationally and regionally for our alumni to attend. We want you to be there. We want you to be engaged. We'd love to see you. Stop by my office. We're at 2100 Pennsylvania Avenue. We also want you to lead. That means volunteering. We have also 1 million opportunities to volunteer. Who here has heard of Career Connect? Anyone? That's what I want to hear. So Career Connect, as you probably know, is a great mentoring service. Now that you're members of the Alumni Association, you will have the opportunity and the blessing to engage former students and current students and grad students in their development. You have that responsibility. And the last thing is to give. Give back. We would love to see your testimony, your time, and everything else that you have to give. You can give however you like to give. And I want you to know that as a child of African immigrants, there's a saying where I'm from that you can go fast by yourself or you can go far with everyone. And I want you to consider the Alumni Association, whether that's regionally, internationally, or by affiliation, to be your crew. We're your crew to get you through. Because the next few years are going to be rough. They're going to be exciting. And I want you to also know, this is the last thing I'll say, I'm not going to get off my post, is that you have the opportunity to make a difference. And I want you to think of that as a huge opportunity. And although you may be leaving GW, I want you to know that GW will never leave you. So come back, be part of the family. Thank you so much.
You're part of the alumni community with me. Welcome. Now it's the moment you all have been waiting for. Really, this is the moment you have been waiting for. The reading of the 2019 graduates. Please join me in welcoming the amazing Ami Idris, who will be reading the names. Our ushers will direct you all. Please rise.
Congratulations, graduates. Christina Way Cart. Momit Singh. Say your last name. Renee Panetta. Congratulations, love. Imani Ross. Victoria Lewis. Carolina Fuentes. Rose Collins. Crystal Sylvester. Juliana Curry. Matthew Mercada. Pavmir Singh. Mira Getia. Shahir Ahmad.
I love you, Shahir.
Nirja Patel. Medra Limbachia. Mega Patel. Reem Eltier. Camille Sariblay. Ryan Robinson. Paige Codrington. Mene Zua. Llewellyn Xavier Ritchie. Remy Roberts. Chizuru Uko. Chinonso Achilike. Florianne Bayege. Shukri Diri. Alexis Amici. Shruti Rantham. Elizabeth Dillon. Victoria Russell Baptiste. Crystal Trujillo. Karen Carrion. Sheldon Wong. Cassandra Custis. Jennifer Gomez. Catherine Gitumu. Justin Thompson. Chanel Folder. Okay. Niat Gahide. Uneris Liviano. Okay. Blair Johnson. Jarrell Slade. Claudia Zurita. Jocelyn Lobos. Sebastian Vasquez Amaro. Larry Hill. Ren O'Kelly. Tavana Davis. Margarita Freire Masas. Mariana Carbo. Ching Ching Niu. Stephanie Fry. Amy Lawver. Elizabeth Wasson. Danny Jaimes. Kanchan Missa. Rashi Dua. Karen Metha. Shivani Gundamdra. Ruben LeBron. Esme Nettie. Olivia Kaveshi. Harani Bekele. Zoe Desput. Chinyere Okunji. Inaja Peyton Hunt. Edwige Dosukeri. Hannah Zikria Hemger. Kimberly LaCourt. Kelsey Bobbitt. Sheba Shakai. Ashley Riviera Severson. Eric Gonzalez. Lucinda Borque. Joseph McGee. Kimberly Hernandez. Freedom Mashaw. Yuna Hu. Ling Yi. Lauren, hold on. Lauren Alexandria Battle. Diara Newman. Haben Kaladi. Maveshiwa Hembodi. Christine Moise. Chandraman Patil. Cheyenne Malik. Ronald Kevin Wilson. Oluwadamilola Ashley Fawara. Kennedy Whittington Cooper. Taryn Hallie Milborn. Levi Dubose. they're going to put it around your neck. Lauren Hill. Tyler Justine Staten. Alexa Blake Santana. Simone Yvonne Cowan. Rhea Moses. Alexis Wing. Ashley Atilano. Victoria Russell. Tenilola Balogun. Yamisirak Indela. Melkam Mangesha. Joy Coyote. Brandon A. Gray. Ethan Tate. Samuel Rodriguez. Daniel Cordana. Chelsea Castaneda. Ruchika Sharma. Michaela Tucker. Rosa Araiza. Ashley Hidalgo. Danja Leo. David Papula. Kayla Lumpkin. Kajal Joshi. Ambika Nair. Tanvi Banerjee. Shada Salas. Jasmine Santos. Claudia Rodriguez Sanchez. Diana Villegas. Jacqueline Baños. Leslie Sanchez. Talia Price Rivera. Lily Christensen. Natalia Ramirez. Sapanat Chipsonsung. Christine Zhang. Natalia Simmons Thomas. Renee Diana Williams. Sona Shah. Danielle McIntosh. Melissa Ingrid Lawrence. Abdoulaye Touré. Hannah Hirshorn. Evelyn Ruiz Flores Montero. Rishi Mehta. Avinash Chakshi. Gayatri Menon. Kirthi Narayanan. Charmi Trivedi. Elmer Raja. Ashka Sheth. Faith Hollingsworth. Elizabeth O'Connor. Vivian Fawn. Naomi Hunter. So Lady Hernandez. Haley Kasher-Shahi. Dana Nara. Anita Chiang. Priya Brombrot. Stephanie Sawicki. Bhavya Pathak. Kadir Saravanan. Aaron Sherman. Harold Mercado. Danielle Coates. Sarer Bulhan. Naomi Redwin. Teranique Benyon. Ilka Mota. Oluwayemisi Osasami. Olajire Awoshika. Faith Hudson. Byron Fullerton Jr. Julian Jervis. Matthew Jenkins. Jimena Diaz Velasco. Hannah Qasim. Nadia Wiggins. Kiana Jansen. Grant Francisco. Priya Kavanadakio. Stephanie Jamila. Naima Zen. Kendrick Chang. Cindy Chow. Psychit Jeremy Lee. Chloe Chang. Does he have a...
We have announcements?
And last but certainly not least, our MSSC graduate coordinators. Eric Duran. Emily Somberg. And Mahi Chopra. Congratulations again to the class of 2019.
Thank you, Ami, and congratulations to you all. Please join me in welcoming Michael Tapscott again, who will deliver our charge.
Did we thank the volunteers? Sort of. Okay. I want to jump off script for just a second. Tiffany Arias, Rachel Brown, Michelle Gung, if you're still inside, would you stand up? These are the folks who volunteered and helped out today. There she is. All right. Round of applause for them. Thank you very much. Also want to acknowledge we're unfortunate that we didn't have participants from the Native American community here today, but I just want to be respectful of Native American presence on this campus and the site of this city as a Native American stronghold for many years before this city became what it is. I'd also like to acknowledge our graduate students and staff who may not have been recognized. Eric Duran, Mahi Chopra, Ami Idris, Emily Somberg, Elise Boatwright. If you're still here, stand up and be acknowledged. Thank you. We had a number of unexpected staffing changes this year, and these folks jumped in and pitched in and did everything they could to provide the best possible service to you all. And I'm particularly thankful and proud and wanted to acknowledge them in that way. Last piece is sad to report that Crystal Warner will be moving on to bigger and broader things at some point in time soon. This is likely, I think, today? Today. Crystal started working for us second semester junior year, 2009. She put in 10 amazing years as a student staff, grad staff, full-time professional staff, and right-hand human being for me in particular. She's left-handed. She's eased that in there just to mess with me, which is the norm. Anyway, you know, you create friendships and work relationships, and you meet people that are just so exceptional you can't find the words sometimes to describe how they impact your life. I've always said if I ever had a daughter, I'd want her to be a whole lot like Crystal Warner. And when she was an undergrad, she would often say, "Hi, Dad." I'd say, "Hi, hon." And then people go like, "That was strange," but we're in. I don't, what's that? Or they thought we were, anyway. I just wanted to, because again, the timing and some of the things that Crystal's been involved in, we haven't had a great opportunity to sort of publicly thank her. And so I would like for you all to join me. If you feel like it, stand up. 10 years of service. Give her a round of applause. One of the finest human beings I've ever known. Thank you very much. Absolutely one of the finest human beings I've ever known, and I'm thankful to have worked with her. Some people say worked for her. I have another little story to tell you. 42 years ago, the people who carried me through my college experience quietly and powerfully inspired me to do the same for others as they did for me. They did make one thing clear. Working in higher education will not necessarily make you rich, but I disagree. I've worked in a university setting for all of those 42 years, and I'm not trying to brag when I say this, but I've tried to help thousands of students. I've made thousands of friends, I've supported thousands of amazing faculty members, and I've worked closely with thousands of administrators. But no one told me that the principles and values of a career in university administration would make me a millionaire. The thousands and thousands of great people left me with millions of incredible memories and connections, and in that sense, I believe myself to be one of the richest men in the world. I love the work I do, and I'm thankful to each and every one of you and the students here on this stage and the staff here. I ask you to make your choice today and think about the values you've learned here at GW and put them into practice every day of your life. You are the leaders of tomorrow, and so here's a little values-driven advice for you. Bless you. Have confidence. If you know your stuff, it shows. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it clearly and publicly, and then move on. Be accountable. People follow people who hold themselves accountable. Hard work. Do more than you're paid to do. Make it a habit. One of the joys and the penalties of leadership is that we must work a little harder than everyone else. Empathy. Someone mentioned it today. That successful business person that you want to model and that homeless person on the corner is still someone's child, a human being. No different than you. Don't ever forget that. Communication. Practice speaking well and writing well. They say that 93% of the American public says that their greatest fear in life is public speaking. That leaves a lot of opportunities for the 7% of us. Bosses. Leadership can be lonely. Sit close to the boss in meetings. He, she, or they will appreciate it. Service. Hold the door for strangers. Focus on doing the good deed rather than on the thank you that you may not get. It's the deed that matters most. Humility. Pour the coffee for others at meetings. Discipline. There's an ancient Asian proverb that says, those who master others are strong. Those who master themselves are truly mighty. Fitness. Whatever you do, just keep moving. I'm in shape. Round is a shape. Optimism. In that context, optimistic leaders are statistically more effective than pessimists or realists. Spirituality. Take great pride in knowing who you are and whose you are. We are but a fleck of flotsam floating on the roiling seas of life in the grand game of the universe. Thank you. Family. Honor them. Everything that you are came from the people who raised you. So if you would, stand up and thank the people who are sitting here to support you today. Look at them, look around the room, stand up and thank them, give them a round of applause. They are awesome, and you are awesome because they are awesome. 1 minute and I'm done. Cool. It's time to be. My favorite Maya Angelou quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Think about a way to make people feel special, affirm others, lift the spirit in the room every chance you get, because that's what leaders do. It is our hope that you leave here knowing that you were important to us, and that you mattered to us, and that you will always belong here in some way for a lifetime. Most importantly, thank you for letting all of us here be a part of your journey. We appreciate you. Thank you much.
He's crying internally because y'all are graduating. And last but not least, please rise and join me in welcoming the phenomenal Timothy Kane, our Associate Director, who will deliver the benediction.
Let us please bow our heads as we embrace our hope
When the night is dark and we feel all alone, let us hope. When our path seems hidden and we feel lost and afraid, let us hope. When we second guess ourselves and become our own worst enemies, let us hope. When the expectations of others steer us away from the lives we know we are meant to live, let us hope. When our fears overwhelm us and tell us lies that we are not smart enough, or capable enough, or deserving enough, let us hope. And when we embrace all that is good in ourselves and in the world, let us hope. When we find strength in humility, when we find value in simplicity, let us hope. When we give voice to our values of community and diversity and equity, let us hope. When we make real changes in our lives and lead to protect our one and only Mother Earth, let us hope. When we choose to forgive those who have done us wrong and choose to forgive ourselves for not being perfect, let us hope. And when we have hope enough to share with family and friends and strangers alike, let us truly give thanks. Amen.
Thank you all. That concludes this morning's ceremony. Thank you for attending. Now, please join us at our friends and family reception, which will start at 12:30, so you don't have to rush. You can take some pictures, and then mosey on over. It's at the Marvin Center's Grand Ballroom. Graduates, please follow our amazing ushers and staff, and these amazing students will lead you out. Please cue the music.